guys, this is Shannon from Skip to My Life. Welcome to my Mother's Day special week. We're going to be featuring 10 Mother's Day crafts you can make with just jars and cans and other things that you have around your house. So let's get started. Most of these crafts are made with candle jars, and I'm going to show you two that I'm loving, Cranberry Mandarin and also the Meyer Lemon Basil. These are both from Walmart and they're under $10. First craft we're going to make is a galvanized cloche, and we're going to use these little Easter eggs from the basket. I got this at Dollar Tree. You could use foam balls, you could use ping pong balls. The other thing that we're going to use is this little trophy. These come in a case of I think 10. You can find these at the party supply section at Dollar Tree. So the first thing we're going to want to do is just mix some black paint with your white chalk paint or whatever color you have to make it a dark gray or a black. And that's going to cover this little egg very nicely. Go ahead and push the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to come back and visit with you again. After you finish painting the egg, we're going to take that little trophy and just snap the bottom piece off of it. You won't be using the little handles or the top, just the very bottom piece, the pedestal. And after you've snapped that off, you can go ahead and take a nail file and just file down the rough edges on that little base. Once you've smoothed the base, go ahead and paint it with the same chalk paint mixture. So now you'll have the egg painted, the base of the trophy painted, and you'll see to the left the bottom of a little terracotta pot. Now I already have this on hand. I think it's the second smallest size that they'll sell at any garden center or Walmart. And you're going to want to paint this with the same color chalk paint both inside and outside. So you'll need those three pieces painted with the gray chalk paint. Now I had a little happy accident, you might want to call it, where I got a little bit of white on that egg, and I decided instead of making them solid gray to go ahead and do a little bit of a marbleized or a galvanized look. So to do that, I just took some of my white chalk paint, dabbed it around. I even flicked a few dots, you'll see me do that later on, and smoothed it in until it looked a little bit more uniform. This is a method that you can really use on any surface to make it look galvanized or marbleized. So here's where the jar comes in. We're going to use this as the lid to the cloche. I took my rubbing alcohol and wiped it over the surface to make sure it was very, very clean, that there was no residue left. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a little knob for the top of this cloche. Now in order to make this knob, we'll just take that trophy bottom, and it's got the little pointy edge to it. We'll take the styrofoam egg and go ahead and put some glue gun. There should already be a hole in the egg if you're using the one that I showed you. If you have a styrofoam ball or a ping pong ball, you're going to want to make a little center in it. And then just glue that trophy bottom to it, and then all you're going to do is attach it to the center of the jar. Now let me tell you that I tried glue gun. Even with my Gorilla glue gun glue, did not stick well. I actually had to go back and use E5000 to get this to adhere, and that worked really well. So I would recommend that you either use a liquid adhesive like E5000 or a combination of hot glue and E5000. Our second project is going to be a seaside candle. This is actually very simple, straightforward project. You're going to want to use a jar lid, any small jar lid, some sand, I bought this at the Dollar Tree, one votive, I got the pack of 4 votives for $1, and a jar. I used one that I showed you earlier from a candle from Walmart. Now the first thing you're going to want to do, I use my acetone to completely get the glue off of that label, and then you will want to print out the little printable I'm providing for you at 20%. This is a full page printable. If you print it at 20%, it's exactly the right size to fit on this jar. And you'll see the link to 10 printables with sayings for women, inspirational sayings. There are Bible verses and there are quotes from famous people. So I just chose one that I really liked, went ahead and glued it to the front of the jar, and then put some glue over the top. The saying on the printable is the Bible verse from Proverbs 31:25, which says, "Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come." And in the background, there's an ocean scene, and I just think it goes perfectly with this little candle motif. And I really love that verse. I think it's a great inspirational verse for Mother's Day or really any time of year. So now with the jar lid, we're going to make a little riser or a little pedestal just to class the candle up just a little bit. I went ahead and spray painted it with a rose gold from Rust-Oleum. You'll see that in the background, and I just glued it on. Very, very simple. Next step, you're going to go ahead and just pour that bag of sand in. I found that this one bag filled the jar perfectly where I wanted. And then I probably should have done this before I put the sand in the jar, but I didn't think about it until afterwards. I went ahead and tied a jute twine around the top just to add a little bit more. And then afterwards, I made what I call a figure 8 bow. It's a little bow that you make just by intertwining this jute twine between your 2 fingers, then cutting it off. And you can tie that on, and it just adds just a little bit of spark to this candle. Our third project is a checked vase. I used the same candle jar that we used in the last project, and I've saved a few steps by going ahead and painting the whole jar white with chalk paint, and then I painted stripes down the side with the same method I'm showing you here. So now I'm doing the second set of checks by using painter's tape just to mask off stripes going the other direction. Then I am going to lighten the blue paint I used on the stripes with just a little bit of white chalk paint for a contrast, and I'm going to paint those horizontal stripes going around. So you'll see in the background there is a candlestick. Now this was just something I'd had in my stash, and I could not leave well enough alone with just painting this jar. I decided I had to make it on a riser. So I went ahead, this is a wooden candlestick. You can get similar ones at Dollar Tree that are glass. I went ahead and painted it white and then added some contrasting blue. And you'll see once I remove that painter's tape from those horizontal stripes, I just go back in with a gray paint and I paint some contrasting squares to make it look more like a buffalo check. Now after I'm done with this, I will go back with my white chalk paint and I will clean those checks up. So you'll see also that I went ahead and filled in the bottom of this jar just with the gray paint. And I decided that the purpose of this little vase was going to be for a flower arrangement, so I went ahead and glued in some styrofoam. You could use this for a lot of different things. You could use it for cosmetic holder, makeup brush holder, whatever you'd like. But I just thought it would be a fun spring arrangement. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button and please subscribe. I would love to come back and bring you some more great content. Our fourth project will be a terrarium. This is using a lidded candle jar. This would be a great project to do if you have a child or grandchild that wants to get involved. There's no gluing, there's no sharp edges involved. So the first thing I did was just used a half packet of those little corks that I found at Dollar Tree. You could use wood chips, you could use stones, anything you'd like. These are morning glory seedlings, and I did get these seeds at Dollar Tree. They sprout within about 3 to 4 days, so they're a great little flower to use in this. I'm going to be giving it to my mother-in-law, and I know that she'll be planting these seedlings in her garden, so this is just a little temporary house for them. They are beautiful when you set them in a windowsill, but you could use other plants as well that sprout quickly. I saved the packet of the morning glory seeds and I just cut out the front and the back. The back has instructions about how far apart to plant them, what they like as far as sun and shade. So I just cut the packet apart and then I used the washi tape. You can find this at any craft store at Dollar Tree, and I just put a little frame around it. I hole punched it. And let's not forget to add a little whimsy. I love the gnomes and all the little cute garden fairies, and so I decided just to put a couple of those in my terrarium. This was a lot of fun. And then all I did was tie that card around the top of the vase. Now I'm going to write some kind of a Mother's Day greeting in there, but I know that she will love knowing what these seedlings are. This fifth project is a little bit of a cheat, but you could adapt it to whatever you have on hand. This was a candle kit I found at Dollar Tree. There were 2 different kinds. It's simply just a glass base, a jar, or any kind of glass container. And then it came with 3 different scented and colored wax beads. Now, it was really nice because the wick was already adhered to the bottom of that glass, but I know that you can buy these wax beads and you can also buy the wicks at craft stores and at Walmart. I decided to continue on with that seaside theme, so I actually bought 2 boxes of these and I ended up using magnolia and fresh linen, and I just alternated them. This is as simple as it comes. You just pour those little wax beads, you can layer them, you can make whatever design you'd like, and then light that wick and you're finished. Now I will tell you that even though they are labeled as scented, they really didn't have much throw. I didn't smell any fragrance at all, which was just fine with me, but they were very pretty and just the right thing if you need a very simple Mother's Day gift. I know I promised you 10 crafts and this is only 5, so you'll have to be looking out for my next video this week where I'll show you 5 more Mother's Day crafts using what you already have on hand. I hope that I gave you some ideas for celebrating the special women in your life. You know, you don't have to be a mom or even have a mother that's living to celebrate Mother's Day. It's really a celebration of womanhood. So I hope that I gave you some great ideas to do that. Please comment below and let me know the ideas that you loved. And also subscribe and like this video, and I'd love to come back to you with even more upscale ideas on a tiny budget.